Hi. Hi.
Growing up as Elon Musk's kids must come with some benefits, but it also can't be easy being the child of one of the richest people in the world. It's not just his love for space and technology that makes Elon an interesting parent, but some of his beliefs around parenting may raise a few eyebrows. Number 1. Otherworldly Names. After 8 kids, it's understandable Elon Musk takes inspiration for names from all his passions, rather than a baby name book, no matter how out there they may seem. His older 5 kids' names weren't as confusing to read as the names he and ex-girlfriend Grimes gave their 2 youngest. Their son's name first took over the internet because it's not every day you see a name with numbers in it. Elon explained how to pronounce the name during an appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast. It's X-A12. Interesting. For his youngest daughter, Exa Dark Sidereal, the meaning behind the name is the unknown true time of the universe, and is based on Galadriel, Grimes' favorite character from Lord of the Rings. These names are definitely head-scratchers from first glance, and who knows if they'll last, since Grimes told Vanity Fair she's considering changing her daughter's name. Number 2. Tweeting. Twitter fingers have gotten a lot of celebrities in trouble, including Elon. Not just with the public, but his family, too. In 2020, Elon tweeted his opinion on the normalization of pronouns in social media bios. His insensitive comments upset a lot of people, including his then-girlfriend Grimes, who replied saying, "I cannot support hate. Please stop this. I know this isn't your heart." The billionaire's first response to the backlash was, "Twitter sucks." Ironic, considering he tried to buy it a couple of years later. It wasn't the initial public responses that showed the impact of his tweets, but his daughter, Vivian Jenna, legally changed her name to 1. Confirm her gender identity, and 2. Go from Musk to Wilson, which is her mother and Elon's ex-wife Justine's maiden name. Vivian said she no longer wishes to be related to her father in any way, shape, or form. Yikes. Number 3. No time for baby stuff. Though Elon has been praised for being a hands-on parent by most of his ex-partners, but especially Grimes, his idea of being a hands-on dad doesn't start until after the newborn stage. Elon thinks it's best he leaves that to the mother. He told New York Times, "Right now, there's not much I can do. Grimes has a much bigger role than me right now. When the kids get older, there will be more of a role for me." When it comes to the changing, the nightly feeds, that's not where Elon feels he shines as a dad. But according to a study by the Association of Women's Health, dads bonding with newborns is important so they can develop bonds with their kids early to avoid losing it as they grow up. Elon says he wants more kids, so maybe for his next newborn, he'll change his mind. Number 4. Messy divorce. Breakups will always have an impact on the kids, but especially when they're especially tumultuous, like the divorce between Elon and his first wife, Justine. 2 years after their divorce in 2008, Justine wrote a piece for Marie Claire detailing their relationship and divorce. She mentioned feeling pressured by Elon to be a trophy wife, how she coped after the loss of their first son, Nevada, and how they used to fight about the kids. But ultimately, she said it was the pressure to present herself a certain way for the lifestyle Elon had built that became too much to handle. Now the two don't speak, and she communicates with Elon through his assistant. But it's clear the split had some sort of impact on the relationship between Elon and his oldest daughter, Vivian. She now lives exclusively with Justine, and Justine recently tweeted how proud she was of Vivian for making the decision to change her name and severing ties with her father. Number 5. Unusual education. It's no surprise that the mogul that wants to revolutionize the tech space has also taken it upon himself to revolutionize the educational system. While some parents think the internet is not the best place to educate their kids, Elon sees no issue in letting his kids learn from the digital space. He said they got most of their education from sites like YouTube and Reddit. I guess there were lessons as well, but judging by the amount of time they spent online, it seemed most of the education is actually coming from online. But his views on education don't end there. In 2014, he created his own school, Ad Astra, because he felt the school his kids were in wasn't doing enough. He took them out of their regular school to attend his own. Aside from there being no grading system, Ad Astra doesn't group classes by age but by ability. Interesting concept for a school, and even more interesting attending the school your dad built. Number 6. Protégé Training. Grimes has made it pretty clear that Elon is planning on turning baby X into a mini Elon. Grimes spoke to Vanity Fair about Elon's fondness of taking X everywhere with him. She said, "I think E is really seeing him as a protégé and bringing him to everything." Elon famously and even proudly brought his youngest son on stage with him for his 2021 Times Person of the Year Q&A. He has tried to get his kids involved in his work by taking them on trips with him wherever he traveled. He told New York Times, "If I have a trip for Tesla to China, for example, I'll bring the kids with me, and we'll go see the Great Wall." But despite the efforts, the only one of Elon's children who seem particularly interested is little X. His older kids are 16 and 18 and haven't publicly attended work events with Elon in recent years. Number 7. Age gap siblings. As Elon's kids keep growing, the difference in ages between his 5 older kids and his 2 youngest is 18 years from oldest to youngest. And with different mothers, it's not hard to imagine there may be some distance between Elon, his older kids, and his youngest. He still co-parents with his first wife, Justine, but with the age differences, coupled with the fact that Elon and Grimes also don't live together, it would make sense if the siblings didn't get to spend too much time together with their dad. His older kids are also out of the limelight, which makes it seem as though they aren't as close to their younger siblings. Meanwhile, Elon is seen out publicly with X, while Grimes regularly posts their son on social media. Maybe the teenage Musks aren't on babysitting duties these days. Number 8. Strained relationship with his dad. Elon has been quite vocal about his issues with his father, Elon Musk, and how they don't often agree on life, especially Elon's childhood, which Elon has described as excruciating. In his book, he said, "It would certainly be accurate to say that I did not have a good childhood. It may sound good. It was not absent of good, but it was not a happy childhood. It was like misery." His father, on the other hand, describes himself as a strict father, saying, "My word was the law. They learnt from me." He also once told the Daily Mail Elon was a spoiled kid who needed to grow up. Though Elon has praised his father in the past for his engineering skills, the pair haven't physically seen each other in years. Elon's strained relationship with his father may have repeated itself with his daughter, who now wants to cut ties with him completely. History does have a way of repeating itself. Number 9. Yes to adversity. This billionaire firmly believes in facing adversity to build resilience and character. He has shared struggles he faced in his teens, not just with his father, but also with being bullied. Musk says, "I had a lot of adversity growing up. One thing I worry about with my kids is they don't face enough adversity." Interesting take, but you could say it's because he doesn't want to spoil his children. He also believes his hardships are what made him successful today, so he wishes the same for his children. It may seem odd at first, and strange pressure to put on kids, enough to make them want to distance themselves in some cases, but he's a father that ultimately wants the best for his kids. Number 10. Healthy eating. Elon once said if he could find a way to live without having to eat, so he could keep working, he would. It doesn't sound like the safest diet to experiment with, but he's also not one for dieting in the traditional sense, despite his mother being a dietitian. Hey, maybe that's why he believes in eating tasty food, not just healthy food.
This is a little snack section.
There was a time in college when he lived off $1 food every day, though that doesn't sound too healthy. His kids don't subscribe to his diet and would much rather opt for healthy foods. TikToker Yamato shared her experience with Elon's triplets when she was babysitting their friends. She shared how well-behaved they were and how shocked she was they were so health-conscious at such a young age. Clearly, Dad doesn't know best when it comes to his kids' dietary preferences. Elon Musk has had some pretty interesting takes on current events in the past, and many of those have spilled over into his parenting style. What do you think? Is his style too out of this world for his family? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to The Things Celebrity for more on your favorite celebs.